And I think that you would restore more faith in our institutions if you were being straight with the American people. If you go back, you'll notice that we really didn't cover, as Pam Bondi was sort of being selected going through the process. Certainly less than anyone else. We covered RFK, we covered Hegseth. Of course, we also covered Kash Patel. That was a big one. Tulsi Gabbard. Because I have my reservations about Pam Bondi, and that is not to say that she is not doing her best job. That is not to say that I know definitively, but I saw some things that gave me pause. And I want to lay them out for you. And I think it's important that you comment below and lay out any of your concerns, because if nothing else, we've seen with this administration that they are responsive. So that is a good thing. With Pam Bondi and the Epstein files. Okay. Well, let's walk you through the timeline, because right now we're hearing that there are thousands of files and that they're likely going to be released. The reason that I'm not as hopeful is because we've been sold this bill of goods before, and at best, it was completely disorganized. At worst, it was dishonest in an attempt to gain more time in the limelight. Bondi, the AG, took center stage, and she did say last week that she was going to be releasing. And everyone was waiting for this. It was the #1 trend all across social media, releasing, quote, new Epstein information.
Breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay. You're going to see, and it's sick, what is in these files. That was 5 days ago. Instead of getting any new Epstein information, we actually got information that included less than was publicly available. We got some influencers at the White House and some binders, right? The photo op. Now, I want to be clear here. This is not to condemn all of the influencers who were there. I know people, of course, like Haya. I'm trying to think of who else was there. Haya.
Scott Pressler
has done unbelievable work on the vote. So I think they were thrust into a situation where at that moment in time, they believed what they had was new. And I guarantee you, they were strongly encouraged to take pictures. They were all taking pictures with the binder in the same spot. They didn't know that they had the wool pulled over their eyes. Now, that's not to say some influencers wouldn't care anyway. There are some people who will simply sell their soul for a buck, but that's not all the people who were there. Okay? So can I please be clear about that? But they came out and said, look, we've got new Epstein files. Everyone was ecstatic. Then it turned out there was nothing in there.
That's actually my social studies homework.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just put a different cover on there. Turns out there was nothing in there that was new, and a lot of information that was redacted. So then Bondi went and blamed that rollout on the FBI New York field office withholding information and gave them a deadline, which seemingly wasn't enforced on that exact timeline, but eventually worked out.
Let me start with the Epstein case, because there was an expectation that this was going to be bigger. You had the same expectation.
We all did. And the FBI handed over a couple hundred pages of documents. But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m. Thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them. And Kash is also, now that we have Kash here, it's a game changer, of course. And Kash is going to, Director Patel, is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
Now, to be clear, I have a lot more faith in Kash Patel than I do in Pam Bondi. It's not to say that I dislike AG Bondi. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a distinct lack of organization or a lack of concern for being honest. With something like this, it's not that it's just about Epstein. It's not that it's just about children being sexually trafficked, though that's kind of a big deal to me. It's about the fact that this vindicates a lot of people who were accused of being conspiracy theorists. Right? Okay, Pizzagate maybe wasn't real, but the idea that there was an actual pedophile ring very much is. And not enough people have gone to jail. There hasn't been enough justice. This is pretty important because it's about restoring faith in our institutions. And I think that you would restore more faith in our institutions if you were being straight with the American people, because we've been told that we would get all of these files, this information day one. But we've also heard that these intelligence agencies have been destroying evidence. Now, my guess is if they were destroying any evidence, whether it's the FBI, the CIA, the very first place they would start would be Epstein. If that's the case, the people who've put their faith in you need to know. Last night, Ms. Bondi said that she had received, quote, truckloads of new Epstein evidence. We'll see. I hope so, but I'm not holding my breath. So Miami Herald reporter Julie K. Brown, who led, by the way, the 2017 probe into Epstein, wrote this on X: "There is no Jeffrey Epstein client list, period. It's a figment of the internet's imagination and a means to just slander people." What do you think? You think we're going to get anything? By the way, weirdest flight log was the combination of Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey, and Bill Clinton.
Yeah, what were they doing?
Yeah. I mean, I think they were going to do some kind of charity work in Africa. I don't know if there's video footage of Kevin.
Charity work, you know this, man.
Also, next to Kevin Spacey, we're going to burn my asshole. It stings.
I think if there was ever a client list, if there ever was this, crazy incriminating evidence, they deleted it. They've already, if they didn't want us to know, they didn't keep it in some kind of Jason Bourne safe.
This doesn't, look, this can harm the credibility of people. And by the way, yes, you are a journalist, right? President Trump was able to run for president because of the work that Mug Club Undercover did, in no small part, right? Exposing the DOJ and the witch hunt. That was a big deal. Shining a light on it made them gun shy. They had to recede a little bit, go, okay, all eyes are on us. There is value in that. And you, anyone watching, listening, can be a journalist. But it's important that at this point in time, we have to look at results and not blow the credibility, because then the legacy media will say, see, told you so. You need people who've gone to diploma mills and have a journalism degree. Let's go through Bondi's record and why I think there's a pretty stark contrast to Patel, because some people may say I'm being inconsistent. I have quite a bit of faith in Patel, in Kash Patel. I don't have a ton in Pam Bondi. The good from Pam Bondi's record: she fought opioid pill mills, right? Prior to being AG, she led efforts to shut down 98 pill mills in Florida, which is pretty big. I believe 98 of the 100 pill mills nationwide was a big topic of discussion at that point in time, were in Florida. She was the tip of the spear in stopping human trafficking initiatives, right? She chaired the Florida Statewide Council on Human Trafficking. There was a zero tolerance policy on enforcement and on prosecution. She enhanced penalties, working with the Florida legislature. And most importantly, she looks like this at 60 years old.
Not bad. I would not guess 60.
No.
If I got to guess, 46.
Yes. Now, the bad, and the reason we didn't, because I don't feel it's my role to attack someone when the wheels are already in motion or to point out flaws if it's not helpful. We just didn't cover Pam Bondi all that much because there wasn't a whole lot we could do. Remember, there was this kind of switch with Matt Gaetz, the bad. She supported red flag laws right after Parkland. There were gun control laws, which included red flag, like we said, those sort of confiscation orders, a ban on 18 to 20-year-olds owning firearms, the bump stock ban, which is just a political football, and anyone who sort of acquiesces on that right away gives me pause. Something else, and this is where I am most concerned, is the money that she has received from foreign entities. So July 2019, she was registered under FARA as a lobbyist for Qatar, receiving $115,000 a month.
Those are the good guys, right?
Yeah. The guys who also send money to Hamas. Yeah. Also the biggest investors in our educational, so higher education, which is still bizarre to me. She advised, counseled, and assisted in matters there with these folks who were paying her $115,000 a month, the effectively Qatari government, to be clear. She's no longer listed as a lobbyist now. Now, it comes down to results, because people can do those things, they can make mistakes, but the results are what we are looking at right now. Pam Bondi seems to be more interested in the limelight than in doing the job. So since becoming AG, she's made at least 7 appearances on Fox News, like the ones that you just saw. Let's compare that to Kash Patel. 0. None since becoming FBI director. None at all.
Like he's working or something.
Kash Patel is working. I believe that Kash Patel, some people thought he would be like a dog chasing a car, wouldn't know what he would do when he caught it. No. I believe that this guy eats, sleeps, and breathes deconstructing the FBI and reforming it. I think that's what he wanted to do, and now he has the opportunity, and he is going full steam ahead. I'm not seeing that from Pam Bondi. And we haven't been seeing that these last couple of weeks. And I know for a lot of people, I mean, for crying out loud, we recreated Jeffrey Epstein's entire cell.
That's right. We built a replica cell.
I could effectively hang myself,
Yes.
and it was physically impossible, right? This is a big story to a lot of people because it exposes a lot of truth. It's not something that should be taken lightly. It's not just something that is a talking point on cable news to set up a position once you're no longer in office. You can comment below. I don't want to be too harsh here, but I'm not holding my breath on the Epstein files. And I think that's a great disservice to the American people. Look, if they were destroyed, tell them. That's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine.
It'll string us along, though.
Yeah.
Knowingly. That's what it feels like. Everything she says on her Fox News interviews feels like it's just a bunch of nothing.
Yes.
Or at least
Empty.
proofread the report before you hand it to a bunch of journalists and pose for pictures with it.
Yeah. Well,
But you know that there's actual substance in it and not nothing.
and it was very clear that the influencers were requested to take pictures and hold it up.
They knew what they were doing.
They were all
Some of them
together.
did. Some of them,
Yeah.
I think if you're there,
No,
they're
not
going,
the influencers. Pam Bondi or whoever was holding
the department knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Get this out there and let people know so we can get this trending, right? And I know some of those people who were there. People like Hyatt, people like Scott Pressler, who I guarantee you, if they knew this was a whole lot of nothing, would not have taken pictures.
Exactly.
But you're there, you're taking, why would this person give you their word that there's something in there that's new, that's a bombshell? Why would they, unless that was clearly the case? I would imagine that some of them are upset and have been hung out to dry. And I would imagine that some of them just want to defend their little slice of influence. If you're using your influence for only yourself and not helping serve the American people, well, I think it ceases to be of value. Hey, if you liked this video, you can comment or hit like. And you know that because you and I were a lot alike. Probably like dogs. I like dogs. If you like cats, I don't want you here. I'm not making videos for cat people. I told you, if you're a cat, I don't want you here. I'm not doing it. Not doing it for cat people. Dog person, click there. Cat person,